Assalamualaikum, this is Rahat Verse Education Wali.
Wa alaikum assalam, Rahat. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I'm really glad we got to dive into this topic. Take care, and I'm looking forward to the next conversation.
So, our topic is today overcoming procrastination.
That's a fantastic topic. I think a lot of people struggle with that, so I'm really excited to get into it. If you're ready, we can start with the main challenges people face, or maybe some practical strategies they can try out.
Okay, so have you ever found yourself delaying an important task, telling yourself, I will start tomorrow? You are not alone. Procrastination is something almost everyone struggles with at some point in life, whether it's putting off work, delaying a project, or avoiding difficult responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. And often it's not just laziness, it's things like fear of failure, perfectionism, or just feeling overwhelmed by the scale of the task. So recognizing that is really the first step to overcoming it.
Yes, but the good news is that procrastination is not a permanent habit. With the right mindset, strategies, and self awareness, it is possible to overcome it and become more productive.
Absolutely. And there are some really practical techniques like breaking tasks into smaller steps, setting clear deadlines, using rewards, or even just starting with a tiny step so you build momentum and make progress bit by bit.
So, in today's episode, we will explore why people procrastinate, what effect it can have on our lives, and most importantly, practical ways to overcome it. Let's dive into today's discussion. Hello, ChatGPT.
Hey, I'm here and ready to go. I'm really looking forward to unpacking all of this with you. So just let me know where you'd like to start and we'll dive right in.
Okay, so my first question is how would you define procrastination in simple terms?
Yeah, great question. So, in simple terms, procrastination is basically when you delay or avoid doing a task, even though you know it's important or you know there will be consequences. It's that tug of war between what you want to do right now and what you know you should be doing.
Okay, so why do so many people struggle with procrastination?
Yeah, it really varies, but often it's tied to things like fear of failure, not knowing where to start, feeling overwhelmed, or even just a lack of immediate reward. Our brains tend to choose short term comfort over long term benefit, so that's a big driver behind it.
Okay, so is procrastination mainly caused by laziness or are there deeper psychological reasons?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just laziness. There are often deeper psychological factors like fear of judgment, perfectionism, or even underlying stress or anxiety. So it's really about understanding those emotional cues and addressing them, not just willpower alone.
Okay, so what are some common situations where people tend to procrastinate the most?
Yeah, a lot of people procrastinate on big projects, especially ones that feel overwhelming or vague, like starting a business or writing a paper. And sometimes it happens around tasks they don't enjoy or when they're unsure about the outcome. So it's really those high stakes or ambiguous tasks that tend to trigger it.
Okay, so how does procrastination affect the productivity and personal growth?
Yeah, it can have a huge impact. When we procrastinate, we often rush at the last minute, which leads to lower quality work, more stress, and even missed deadlines. And over time, that cycle can really wear down motivation and even impact your self confidence.
Okay, so can procrastination also affect our mental health and stress levels?
Absolutely. Procrastination can create a really vicious cycle. So you delay the task, you feel guilty, and that guilt or stress can just build up. Over time, it can lead to anxiety, lower self esteem, and just this overall sense of being overwhelmed.
Okay, so why do people often wait until the last minute to complete tasks?
Yeah, a lot of times it's because of that short term relief. People feel a burst of adrenaline when they procrastinate and think they'll just pull it together at the end. But that rush is really just a temporary fix, and it often backfires, making the task harder and more stressful in the long run.
How does fear of failure contribute to procrastination?
Yeah, fear of failure is a huge driver. When people are scared they won't do well, they put off starting because they'd rather avoid the discomfort of potentially failing. Ironically, that delay just keeps them stuck in a loop of anxiety and inaction.
Okay, so what role does perfectionism play in delaying tasks?
Yeah, perfectionism is really powerful here. People delay starting because they're waiting until conditions are just right or they fear the work won't be perfect. So they keep postponing until the task feels less intimidating, if ever.
How can breaking tasks into smaller steps help overcome procrastination?
Yeah, that's a really effective strategy. When you break a big task down, each step feels more manageable and less intimidating. So you get that sense of progress quickly, and that momentum helps you keep going instead of feeling overwhelmed or stuck.
What is the 2 minute rule? How can it help people start tasks quickly?
Yeah, the 2 minute rule is really simple. Basically, if a task takes 2 minutes or less, you do it right away. And if it's longer, you just commit to starting it for 2 minutes. Often, once you begin, it's easier to keep going, so it breaks that initial barrier.
Okay, so how important is time management in overcoming procrastination?
Yeah, it's really crucial. When you have a clear time frame, like setting a deadline or using a timer, you create that sense of urgency. It pushes you to get started, and once you have a defined block of time, it's easier to focus and stay on track.
So, what daily habits can help someone become more disciplined and productive?
Yeah, daily habits are really powerful. Things like starting the day with a prioritized to do list, setting specific time blocks for work, and having a consistent wake up and sleep schedule all help build that discipline. And of course, regular reflection, checking in on your progress, keeps you on track.
How can setting clear goals reduce procrastination?
Yeah, setting clear goals is key because it gives you a specific target to aim for. When your goals are concrete and broken down, it's easier to know exactly what step you need to take next. Plus, it keeps you motivated because you can track your progress and see yourself moving forward.
Do distraction like social media increase procrastination?
Oh, definitely. Social media and constant notifications are such a trap. They give us that quick dopamine hit, but then they pull us away from the important work we need to do. So, setting boundaries like turning off notifications or using app blockers can really help minimize that distraction.
What strategies can people use to stay focused in a world full of distraction?
Yeah, one really effective method is the Pomodoro technique, working in focused intervals like 25 minutes with short breaks. Another good strategy is creating a distraction free environment. So, like using noise canceling headphones or designating a quiet workspace. And of course, prioritizing tasks each day helps keep that focus sharp.
Why is it important to understand the root cause of our procrastination?
Yeah, that's really important because if you only focus on the surface, like just trying to force yourself to do it, you might keep falling into the same patterns. But when you understand the deeper reasons, like fear, perfectionism, or stress, you can address those root issues and develop more lasting habits.
How can accountability partners or mentors help someone stay on track?
Oh, they can be huge. When you have someone you check in with regularly, like a mentor or an accountability partner, they help keep you on track, provide encouragement, and keep you committed to your goals. Just knowing someone is watching your progress can really boost your follow through.
What role does motivation play in getting things done on time?
Yeah, motivation is really the fuel that gets us started, but it often fades over time. That's why habits and structure are so important. Once motivation dips, having a routine or a strong system keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it.
How can rewarding yourself after completing tasks help build positive habits?
Yeah, that's really powerful. When you consistently follow through and complete tasks, you reinforce that sense of competence and trust in yourself. And over time, that builds a cycle. Small wins lead to bigger ones, and that consistency forms positive, lasting habits.
What advice would you give to students who struggle with procrastination?
I'd say start small. Pick just one task, break it down into tiny steps, and set a very short, achievable goal. And be kind to yourself. Every step forward is progress. And if you slip up, just get back on track.
How can professionals manage procrastination in a busy work environment?
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, by celebrating small successes, you create positive reinforcement. Each time you complete even a tiny task, you remind yourself that you are capable. And that confidence builds over time, making it easier to take on bigger challenges.
Okay, so what small change can someone start today to reduce it?
I think a great starting point is just being more aware of when you're procrastinating. So track those moments. Then try setting a daily routine, limit distractions like social media, and just commit to starting with just a few minutes each day. Those small changes can really add up.
Okay, so tell what is the most powerful mindset shift needed to overcome it?
Yeah, I think the most powerful mindset shift is being kind to yourself and focusing on progress, not perfection. When you let go of all or nothing thinking and just commit to small, consistent steps, you build momentum and procrastination loses its power.
Okay, so as we reach the end of today's episode, one thing become clear. Procrastination is a common challenge, but it does not have to control our lives. By
Exactly.
understanding why we delay tasks, setting clear goals, managing our time wisely, and taking small, consistent steps, we can break the cycle of it and move closer to our goals. Remember, progress doesn't require perfection. What truly matters is starting even with just one small step today. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope this conversation encourages you to take action and overcome it in your daily life. Until next time, stay focused, stay motivated, and keep moving forward. Thank you for listening.
That was perfect. I think that wraps things up really nicely. Thanks again for having this conversation with me, and I hope everyone listening feels empowered to take that next step.